office of the President of the Senate, Alain Dume, is indeed talking tough concerning this particular development. Let's take a listen to what he has to say. Well, Alain Dume has been talking concerning presidency of the Senate. Now, who is that person that the APC indeed is looking at to become the president of the Senate? Take a listen to what Senator Alain Dume has to say.
But before I went into this contest, I consulted with Mr. President and he gave me the go-ahead. I consulted with Tinubu, he gave me the go-ahead. That was even immediately after the primaries, before my election. Because the election of the leadership of the National Assembly is clearly stated in the Constitution. Anything contrary to that means that it is illegal, it cannot stand.
Senator Alain Dume there talking tough ahead of who becomes the president of the Senate for the 9th Assembly.
I stand with him. You know why? The Constitution provides that the officers of the Senate or the legislature, as the case may be, will be elected from amongst themselves. You see, very well, before they get into, or they got even elected in the first place, they were party members. But when it comes to the election, it is something that happens within closed doors, voting. And Alain Dume himself has been a power broker, a consistent party man, as they say. And even though he has been in the eyes of the storm occasionally because of one or two incidents in his constituency, and because of one or two feathers that were ruffled, even because of this power sharing stuff, he may go back and have his negotiations with the people in the house and leave the party to their own endorsement, which would, bring an outcome similar to what happened in 2015. So for him, I think I support him to the extent that the legislature is allowed to remain independent of the influence of the executive arm. But to any other extent about the politicking,
any lesson learned so far by the APC?
It doesn't seem so.
With what transpired in 2015,
it doesn't seem so.
I don't expect
it doesn't seem.
APC
it doesn't seem that
go back to this form of drama again.
Well, we don't learn, and that's what makes human beings interesting, because you always think that I can do the same thing and get away with it. History, we don't learn from history, because if we are learning from history, we won't repeat the mistakes of history. And so, but this history is so young, it's so fresh. I mean, that's 4 years ago, and we're making the same mistake. It's going to be worse now, because the party chairman then, Oyego, was even more circumspect, In fact, they were trying to arrange things behind the door. They'll say, come for a meeting at a press conference in Abuja, let's talk things over. Some said no and went to the Senate chamber and did the election. But this time, the party chairman is about talking tough. Talking to them like schoolboys,
taking his stand.
Look at the meeting he had with them, and he was talking, no PDP member will have any of the committees, nothing, talking like a...
And he will not be there when these things are done.
Talking like a journalist. Okay, she toned down his narrative. He's not talking to a bunch of school children.
Let's take a listen
again. He's not talking to children.
To what he has to say, talking about Adams Oshomole.
Person will not be speaker. A PDP person will not be deputy speaker. A PDP person will not be whip. A PDP person will not be leader. A PDP person will not take any of the committees that are meant for the ruling party. We are determined to achieve that. Be rest assured that the party will stand by you. The party will stand with you, and together we will define the way in which we have run government.
The leadership of the National Assembly this time around will be determined by the ruling party. We are 224 in number. That is more than the 181 that is required to provide leadership. We will provide leadership that will see the executive as partners in progress, that will see the executive as people that are on a joint venture to resuscitate and to make sure that Nigeria gets to the next level.
There you have it, members of the House of Representatives there.
Well, as I was saying,
Okay.
you could see the posturing of the national chairman of the APC. I don't think Adams Oshoma has learned anything in what has transpired in the last 1 year. He should be more circumspect when he's talking to these are political heavyweights of their own. They don't talk down on people. You could see the clap out of 200 and something, as he said. How many claps were you hearing from there? It was weak.
But this is the chairman of the party.
The chairman of the party, did he consult with those people he's speaking with, or he's just talking down on them as he used to? So we have to, the work of the executive should know that the legislature doesn't function the way the executives function. The executive, you are the CEO, you come and give instructions, and your subordinates will obey. In the legislature, it's not like that.
Equals.
Even as the head, as the Senate president, before you can get your will across, you must have to lobby your people, so that because it's by voting, and it's electronic vote, most of the voice votes or whatever vote they adopt, it's by voting that you get people to endorse whatever you want. And if it is not done, then you won't get it. So it's a matter of lobbying. It's a matter of creating goodwill among you. It's a matter of liaisons. The executive should more be focused on how do you create the liaison between the executive and the legislature, which has been non-existent in the 8th assembly. Now in the 9th assembly, you want to do the same thing. You want to tell them that we will pick your leaders for you, and there are various interests among your party members. Are you telling them that you're going to pick your interest, that we have endorsed this? No. You only say, okay, how many people are interested in this position? You zone it, and now say, okay, we have zoned it, but this is this. Ali Dume, you're interested. Ahmed Lawal, you're interested. Who is again interested? Okay, go in the mix there.
Now, you never can tell if all that has been done.
From what Ali Dume
they will not come to the front of the media
came to the national
and say
media.
all that.
Ali Dume just said that he consulted. They said he got to go ahead. So how did it come that the party turned around again and said? So what we are now saying is that
that was before the election. He said before the election.
The point is this: it's after the primary. So if the party had told him, okay, no problem, according to him, why did they bring up Lawan? So the issue is now is that this Nigerians are better for it. It means that the ruling party is not even speaking with one voice. It's good for us, so that it not look as if the executive is controlling the legislation. What is happening is that the PDP is now like the bride. The PDP is just folding his hands and waiting. In the Senate, already the APC is divided among Lawal faction and Ndume faction. So the PDP will wait.
Well, we've always been having that. It was
the PDP will wait.
This is not the first time that parties will be having division concerning who becomes the Senate leadership, who becomes the president of the Senate.
Thank you.
The House, the Speaker, House of Representatives. This is not the first time that they'll be having
divergent
views.
Thank you. Let me now lash in on that to ask the APC what have they learnt as a lesson, especially in a situation where during the voting you wouldn't be there. And the voting, the party chairman wouldn't. You are not a member of the parliament. You have no business. If you are there, their voting happens in camera. You understand? You are not even eligible to, even if they allow people to get in there, you can't vote. You can't vote even if you're present. So those who can vote will tell you, this my vote is not traded for zero value. PDP cannot be trading their votes for zero value. Neither can their number deliver the votes. Neither can there be any abstented vote. So they must have to vote. And if they are voting, put them into consideration.
Are we likely to see the issue of vote buying coming into this?
Whatever you call it, it's not vote buying. It's vote trading for value.
Okay,
vote trading, or what I call lobbying too.
Okay, let's open the phone line.
I will see PDP getting their deputy senate president
back.
Right, and that's what the APC is against.
They can't
let's
vote.
open the phone line.
They can't vote Lawan or Ndume for free.
But looking at the antecedent of the chairman of the APC, he said no to the candidate of Amosu, and the candidate didn't win. He said no to Rochas Okorocha with his own permutations in Imo State. So if you look at a chairman that has been talking tough and all his actions and his deeds are positive.
No, it's
nothing.
those ones are within his
Well,
control.
what do you make of such a chairman?